Welcome back, everyone, to What's New Lads Weekly Football Fix. We're going to be going through the results of the weekend, have a little look at the Champions League games coming up this week, and talk about the main talking points that have come about. Today on the podcast is just me and Greg Matthews. Greg, how are you?
Making a debut, mate. I feel really good. Didn't really want to jump on the football fix, but I feel like I need to get you, man, straight of your opinions about the beautiful game. So, got a call up, so I'm very excited, mate.
Yeah, we have been trying to not have Greg on this.
Avoid,
because of his dribbling opinions. We like to have a bit of logic on here, but sometimes you've got to scrape the barrel.
Cheeky fucker.
Nah, let's get straight into it. So, as normal, what would you say was the performance of the weekend?
So, I feel like recently with the league, it's just slowed down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Do you feel that as well? Like, it's just slowed down. Everyone's trying to just churn out these. It's the must-win games. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's just trying to churn them out, and then when it gets to obviously like April, time, those are when everyone's literally just fighting for obviously like the final points. For me, two standout players. Could go obvious and go Kelechi Iheanacho, scored his first Premier League hat-trick. But for me, the goals weren't that good, if that makes sense. He scored 2 tap-ins. Do you know what I mean? And for me...
the third one.
That's the thing. But I did see the third one. Do you know what I mean? But I think for me, my outstanding player, Dwight McNeil. His goal against Everton, unreal. And he won man of the match that game. So for me, winning away at Everton when they're obviously fighting for Europa League, Champions League spots, good performance for. So mine's Dwight McNeil. What about you, mate?
Yeah, well, to be fair, along with Dwight McNeil as well, obviously Theo put that in our chat earlier. I didn't realise he's 21.
Yeah, he's a
young player. He's got. I genuinely thought he was one of these guys that played in the Championship for a while and then sort of lowly Prem at the end of his career.
Then edged his way in. Yeah.
I think he might have a big future. Definitely one to keep an eye on.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna say performance of the weekend was Leicester City and Iheanacho.
Okay.
Iheanacho, I think he's one of these players. I've always liked him. I think he's always had that sort of spark, but because of the situation that he's in, where you've got, Leicester's team, the way they play, you've got Jamie Vardy, who's going to be out and out striker. I think he hasn't been able to shine as much.
And with other injuries and stuff.
Yeah, and injuries, of course. But no, I think you saw some of the best of him. And I think if he can start churning out these sort of consistent performances, start getting a little bit better.
Well, he scored in his last 3. He scored in his last 3 starts, I believe it is. So, do you know what I mean? He's in a hot run of form. Do you know what I mean? 5 goals in 3 games isn't bad.
Well, I mean, there's an argument as well to say that Vardy's not been in the greatest of form recently compared to what we're used to him. Anyway, obviously, I'm not going to start saying he's bad or slate him off because we know what it's like with Jamie Vardy. You never lose it, but no, there's an argument to say that he could, Iheanacho could start getting a few more games.
Fingers crossed, bro. Fingers crossed. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, if he kicks on, like, because we saw at City, when he was at City, he there was a stage where he had the highest conversion rate of like 70%. Like most of his shots were going in. Like, I think that was obviously like for one season, but I'm not going to stand here and say he's the next, best thing in the Prem. But do you know what I mean? He'll be a consistent. I hope he'll be a consistently like good Premier League level striker if he keeps it up.
When he was at City as well, when we used to play them in the Manchester derby, I used to hate playing against him. He would obviously they've got like Aguero and these great strikers, but a lot of the times when Iheanacho came on, we were struggling.
Yeah, he'd do something.
Really struggling to defend against him.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Yeah, he'd definitely do something to you.
So the big game of the weekend is the North London derby, Tottenham versus Arsenal.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it?
North London is red for the moment.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be. How do you think the game would have gone?
I really wasn't sure going into it.
All right.
I was really unsure whether, in terms of who was going to win.
Yeah.
I was really unsure. I feel like I could have guessed that a player was going to get sent off, and I probably could have made an educated guess that it would have been Lamela.
Okay, how comes?
You know what he's like. Well, you just know what he's like, and he. I think if you knew he was going to play, he always strikes me as one of these players that tries to turn it on for the derby and tries that a little bit too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
A
well, I
bit too
think for
hard.
me, if anyone's going to get red carded, I would have probably put all of my money on David Luiz. Do you know what I mean? The guy's so inconsistent and he just makes mistakes, but somehow
Yeah,
then after a bad run of games, he'll then put in like a blinding performance. Do you know what I mean? He'll get a man of the match. But do you think it was a red card? Like, obviously, he got the first yellow. Do you think the second yellow should have been like a warning, or do you think the ref was right to say, like, yellow, you're off, mate?
I think, to be honest, I think the first one probably wasn't a yellow.
Mm,
I think he's got the ball there. Yeah, his other leg has gone through the player, but you know, where else is he going to go? You can't put
exactly.
your leg behind your back. Do you know what I mean? It's a natural thing. So I think even I probably would give a free kick for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have been a yellow.
Mm.
Second one's just a bit stupid on his part.
I think you've got to give it. Do you know what I mean? You have to.
Yeah,
Like if he wasn't, what am I trying to say? I don't think if he was on a card then, I think the ref would have. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's one of those situations where you can't do anything. Like you have to send him off. He's hit him in the face, and he has to be sent off. But what about his goal? What do you think about his goal?
No, beautiful goal, wasn't it?
You think
It's a lovely goal. If he, I mean,
if he meant it,
of course he meant it. But also, I think there's a bit of like pure luck.
Yeah, of course, bro. Like
You know,
you can't anticipate a player opening his legs.
Try something crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is crazy just how he done it and managed to keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
I think I kind of hope that the red card, for his sake, I hope it doesn't overshadow the goal. Because the goal was a really good goal, and hopefully that can, hopefully for Tottenham fans, that can bring him some confidence.
Yeah, bro, definitely. I mean, to be fair, I thought Tottenham were going to win. I generally thought with the players that they had. Obviously, Son got injured like 20 minutes in, which is obviously such a kick in the teeth for them. Because obviously, Mourinho was on his way to becoming the third Spurs manager to win the first Spurs manager to win 3 North London derbies in a row. No other Spurs manager has done that. But yeah, I just think that Tottenham is, as soon as they got obviously like Son injured, I feel that everyone's heads dropped. And then I don't know, man. It's that bogey game. Do you know what I mean? It is genuinely that game of like you don't know who's going to win. Similar to maybe the Manchester derby, where we didn't think that United was going to win based on City's recent form. Do you know what I mean? Tottenham have been bagging in goals. They won 4-0 last game out, or was it 4-1 or whatever? You didn't think that they'd lose, but they did. And yeah, what do you think about the penalty though? Was it an actual penalty?
No. I'm saying no. I would be fuming if that got given against me. I think I think Arsenal got lucky with that one. If you look at it, I mean, Lacazette, he's missed the ball.
Yeah, but he's taken a shot.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, for me, you can't argue that if, for example, if the defender wasn't there and there wasn't contact, he still missed the ball and there's no goal scoring opportunity there.
Yeah.
So it comes to that thing, is like, how can you give a foul when the ball's already gone away from him?
Yeah, 100%. But I think,
and there's a strong argument to say that he's basically kicked the defender.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, it's one of the ones, but it's the way the Premier League is now. That like it's a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Based on what we know as football fans, and maybe 10 years ago? Do you know what I mean? In the Premier League era, that's not a foul. Do you know what I mean? The lino or the fourth official would say, listen, he's already taken his shot. It's not a foul. He's had that goal scoring opportunity and he didn't interfere with play. But the way it works now, do you know what I mean? You could get brushed by a strong wind and you could get a free kick. Do you know what I mean? It's just how the game is now. But I think, what would you say was your biggest upset? What's the game where you're like, I did not see that coming?
To be fair, I was going to say another point on the Tottenham game.
Yeah.
With the penalty, I think I would probably be more. I'd probably be more sort of happy to accept the decision, and so more accepting of it. Especially, say I was a Tottenham fan, but I'd definitely be happy to sort of accept it more if he had gone to VAR and just looked to the monitor. He's saying it every week, and I think we touched on this in the podcast a couple weeks ago. But the refs have no real sort of. They have no real accountability.
Yeah.
When you look at it, like Mourinho's mentioned this in his post-match interview as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, why can't the ref do a post-match interview?
Yeah.
And it makes sense because
But imagine
It
how
makes
much
sense.
stick they get, though. Do you know what I mean? Imagine how much stick
Yeah,
they
but I
like you say,
think
they're so protected.
half the anger comes from them not being able to explain their decision.
Mm,
Because when you've had examples of referees, explaining their decision and stuff like that,
yeah.
people, they might still be annoyed at the decision, but they will respect the referee more.
Yeah, of course. Oh, 100%.
I think, I think there's a fear that letting that sort of level of insight into the referees will just lead to disrespect to the referees, but I
Even
don't
more.
think that would happen. I think you'd find them more human. Do you know what I mean? You'd find them
True.
more human and sort of like they can explain their decision. And you might not agree with it, but at least they sort of explained it and can say their part.
Fair point. Fair point. What was your biggest upset? What come on, what was your
Biggest
biggest upset?
upset, I think, say Everton.
Okay.
Burnley, Dwight McNeil had an absolute game of his life, stuff like that. But I think Everton, they've been a really inconsistent side. And I'm sort of, every time I watch them, I'm hoping that they can like keep consistent.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as they have one or two players missing, then
They fall.
they lose everything, Everton.
Yeah.
But you look at them and, Ancelotti's got them playing really well, stuff like that. So, I think a game, Everton against Burnley, I think that's a game for Everton to lose.
At home as well.
You know what I mean? At home,
Yeah, bro.
I think, missed opportunity there, especially they're trying to climb for the top four. What about you?
Chelsea leads. Like, I know, for me, it was disappointment. Like, and not even because
Well,
Chelsea didn't win. It's because no one scored. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we saw Tyler Roberts. Is that the Leeds player that hit the crossbar? Or was it? Yes, it was Tyler Roberts that hit the crossbar basically. And we hit the crossbar. Do you know what I mean? There were so many opportunities that we could have scored, and I was at least expecting a 2-1 or like at least goals. And I think for the position that Chelsea are in, we need to be winning that. We've dropped 2 points when all of the other top four have bagged 3 points. Do you know what I mean? That now leaves, I think it's West Ham with a game in hand behind us to go level with us. And like I say, these are the games where we've got to be churning out results and just grinding. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's tired, everyone's picking up injuries, but this is the time of the season where we just got to work and work and work. But we didn't. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know why it is. I think we put Havertz in a false nine position for that was sort of his shot as such. But I don't know, man. Like that was my biggest upset from a Chelsea fan, but also from a football fan's point of view, because where it was so end to end, I was at least expecting, Leeds to score at some point. Obviously, like Bamford got a bit injured and whatnot, but do you know what I mean? That was my biggest disappointment, man.
Yeah, well, I think the team sort of cancelled each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of, you've got Chelsea, who, at least since Tuchel take over, your defence has been incredible, probably the best in the league.
Arguably,
in terms of like the back five. I think you got like the most clean sheets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think your problems lie in the attack and finishing chances, basically.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, Leeds are a team where if you're a striker playing against Leeds, you're like, all right, I'm going to get my stats up here.
Yeah.
You're thinking, okay, like even if you don't win, you expect to score 1 or 2 goals because
100%.
of the way they play.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely. I can see why going into it you'd think there'd be at least 1 goal, but I think
100%.
the balance of the teams cancelled each other out.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like Leeds are a strong outfit; they're pretty solid. But on to fantasy. What is the one player that you should have had in your team this week? Who do you think
should have had in my team?
Yeah, one player. I mean, let's just say, obviously. Wait. Did you have a player that got you a load of points this week?
No, not really. I got a couple 6s, 7s, but
okay. Well, who would you have had in your team this week? I think for me, it's only one player.
I should put Iheanacho in now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never would. You wouldn't think of it.
No, not at all, man.
You wouldn't think of it, but I'd have loved to put Iheanacho in.
Yeah, man.
What about this week? Who are you going to put in this coming week?
This coming week? Well, obviously, there's not many games on, is there? It's only like a four game week or something. Well, for me, it's Villa versus Tottenham, which I think is probably the best game of this game week. I'd say probably Kane. you know what I mean, either a Kane or, I mean, I got Ollie Watkins, and I think he bagged a goal, did he? Yeah, I think he did. Obviously
Yeah, I've
last
got
weekend.
Watkins as well.
It's got to be a striker. I think it's got to be a striker. The other games there, like I say, they're games that just need to be played. You know what I mean? It's nothing really exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say Watkins, Kane, or maybe Bamford if he's not injured, because obviously they play Fulham, and I mean Fulham aren't really doing the best. So, what about you?
I'm going Jesse Lingard.
Okay,
West
wow.
Ham, Arsenal. Jesse
Okay,
Lingard absolutely loves playing Arsenal.
very true.
Knows from his United days,
Yeah.
dancing in their stadium. And I think West Ham are in form. Arsenal, again, even when they are winning at the moment, they're letting in goals.
Mm.
So I think, I can see Lingard doing a job there. So I'm
Is that
definitely
going to
put
be
him
your
in.
game of the week? Is that the one that you're going to look forward to the most, you think?
In terms of the Premier League, yeah. In
Yeah,
terms of the Premier League. But obviously we record this on the Monday. Got plenty of Champions League and Europa League football coming up.
exactly, bro.
For this week, obviously we record this on a Monday. So you've still got the Champions League games coming up. You got Real Madrid, Atalanta. Real Madrid are 1-0 on aggregate. Man City, Gladbach. Man City 2-0 on aggregate. Bayern, Lazio 4-1 to Bayern on aggregate. Pretty much done that one.
Yeah.
And you got your boys Chelsea 1-0 up against Atletico.
Yeah.
What I'm going to ask is, in terms of the aggregate, what game do you think is most likely to turn?
I hate to say it, but maybe Chelsea.
Yeah.
I feel that Atletico are just going to come with a vendetta against us. That's not to take away from our performance in the first leg. Like, we played well. I don't care what anyone says. We played well and we earned it. Do you know what I mean? But I feel that, yeah, man. When it comes to Atletico, we rarely have luck. Even Spanish teams in general. Do you know what I mean? So I feel that the fact that we're in a good run of form will be in our favour, but I just think that it could be an upset. Do you know what I mean? I feel that there could be a goal very early on in the game, from either an Atletico midfielder like a Sal or a Koke. I feel like they just will get a goal early, and then it opens the game wide up. So, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to that one, because obviously I feel that Chelsea will go through, but it won't be easy for us. That's going to be the hardest one. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I appreciate your honesty with the Chelsea one. I think if Atletico get an early goal, then that could maybe shake you a bit.
Yeah, bro.
I do think you go through. I think there's also a case to be made that the Real Madrid Atalanta one could possibly change. I think Atalanta are a sort of team where, because they're such an attacking team, I think they will basically have to just go all out. Because obviously Real Madrid's goal was the away goal as well, so they need to at least score the one away goal. So I think they'll go all out and risk it. And again, it's one of these things where they could end up risking it all and losing 4-0.
Yeah.
Or you could end up risking it and managing to get away with a 2-1 win, which would send them through on away goals.
I mean, it's the beauty of the Champions League, mate. Like, Real Madrid have been awful in the past, years since Ronaldo left, really. So anything can happen, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good week of football, I feel.
It's an interesting game of a very up and coming team in Atalanta.
100%.
Told me 5 years ago Atalanta are going to be playing Real Madrid in the Champions League quarters.
I mean, they've been doing it consistently for the past few seasons. Like, they've been in the quarters, do you know what I mean? So,
they've made their team and they're building up that way.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it all. I think. Like I say, all we've got to do now is wait for the results.
One thing I do want to say, it's a funny little anecdote that I've been reading this week. I don't know if you saw, but 2 teams have won the Papa John's trophy this week.
What do you mean?
Right. So basically, I didn't realize this until this week, because I saw 2 different trophy things and I was as confused as you.
Yeah.
So basically what's happened is the Papa John's trophy, obviously the old, what used to be the Johnston's Paint trophy.
Classic.
FIFA players might know that one a bit more.
Yeah.
But so their final from last year never got played because of COVID. And I don't know if they were just waiting for fans or whatever. But basically they've they've obviously now got to the final for this season.
Yeah.
So what they've had to do, because obviously you can't play the final for this season without playing the final for last season.
Yeah, of course.
So on the Saturday, you had Salford versus Portsmouth.
Yeah. I heard
And
that.
Salford won that on penalties.
Wow.
So they got the trophy and they won the 2020 Cup.
And
And
what, the
then
final
the
of the
one after
2021?
that, and then the next day, very next day, you had I believe it was Sunderland versus Tranmere. Sunderland won that. So
Wow.
Salford City had a trophy for 24 hours.
Mate, that's
And then had to give it back.
yeah, mate, that's so peak. I mean, obviously, like, it's good that they won because that's in their history, but do you know what I mean? You want to keep the trophy. That's the whole
Well, I
point.
think
Like,
that's one of their first trophies because they're very
yeah,
obviously not necessarily a new team, but new
nah, but
since Class of '92 invested in the new football
yeah.
league,
Oh, mate, that's
especially.
so peak. Imagine just, I mean, celebrating with the boys, and then the gaffer's like, yeah, we got to hand it over now, lads.
Yeah.
Oh, but gaffer, do you know what I mean? I mean, mate, COVID
Yeah.
has mucked so much stuff up, but like I say, hopefully it don't happen again. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I wanted to put that story, and I just found it funny.
Yeah, bro.
I think I saw
It's
I
unlucky.
saw their team tweeted out someone holding Lionel Richie holding his album.
Oh
It
yeah.
was that like holding the trophy, and they're like, it was fun while it lasted.
That's classic, bro. That's
At
classic.
least they can see the funny side of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, I think that covers it all. So
Boom.
thank you everyone that has tuned in and watched this, which I believe is episode 3. As always, don't forget to watch the main podcast, the What's New Lads Time to Talk. This previous week, we've done it on the Harry and Meghan story. Very interesting discussion about that. So please give that a watch. There'll be a link in the description. It's on our feed. So until next week, from me and Greg, all the best and take care.
See you later.